everyone, Mitch coming in with the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So, spoiler season moves on, and we might have the most unique card we have seen in this entire set. Let's jump into it, and I just realized that loot is in the picture. Great. Anyway, Stillness in Motion, an enchantment for just 2 mana in blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill 3 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, exile this enchantment and put 5 cards from your graveyard on top your library in any order. Okay, so there's a lot going on here for just a 2 mana enchantment, and it's really, really cool because, well, again, for like a self-mill strategy, ones that want to get things in their graveyard, whether it's like a Muldrotha deck where it's like, okay, I have access to my graveyard like it's my hand, or Reanimator deck, or like you've got flashback spells or things like that, essentially. Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely amazing. Or like Lab Maniac, kind of, because again, this is basically like Doomsday meets a mill project. It's a really unique card again where I can't think of any other card that I've ever seen like this again. Basically, you're trying to get rid of your library in a way, and then you set yourself up with, again, the Doomsday 5-card stack. If you don't know what Doomsday is, I think it's black, black, black. Basically, get rid of your library and then 5 cards. You get 5 cards in whatever order you want, essentially. Maybe your graveyard, too. I can't remember. In hand. I don't know. Anyways, basically, this is a very efficient mill piece. Again, like a 2-mana mill 3, you usually don't see that. I mean, typically, I'm just trying to think about the, like, one that you'd usually see. It's like Perplexing Timepiece. Is that the one where it's like 2 mana artifact, you can tap it to mill 2? Like, that's great. It is great. It's easy, a lot of play in self-mill decks, so you're already getting a lot of value there. So, I mean, whether or not you're kind of building around getting to that Doomsday part or not, you might still just utilize this in a self-mill type strategy because it's already just very efficient at doing so. So, yeah, it definitely could see play in those strategies out there. That being said, of course, there are some weird wonky combos that you can pull off once you get the Doomsday 5-card stack, of course, because, yeah, there are certain Doomsday combos out there. I'm sure you can just look them up. You just type in Doomsday combos. There you go. You got it. Yeah, stacking cards in a certain order can get you to combo off. So, it's a very cool card, absolutely. Again, very unique. I did not expect a card like this in the set, and I did not expect to see loot in any of the arts, but there's loot making an appearance here. Okay, let's phase that out there, Wizards. The Jar Jar Binks of Magic can go away for a little bit. I know there's some loot fans out there, but let's just cool on the loot, all right? Loot's been here for a little while now, and kind of overstaying the welcome. Regardless, a very cool card. Let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below, and what kind of deck you would put this one in. Next up, Karu Gold Keeper. Yeah, there's some other awesome spoilers, including this one, which could definitely be a haymaker in the right strategy. A 3/3 dragon with flying for 4 mana in Sultai. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard during your turn, you make a treasure token, and notice that it doesn't say, like, comes into play tab, so you can use that right away. On top of that, you can renew it out of your graveyard for 5 mana in total. Exile from your graveyard, put 2 counters, and a flying counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery. Again, the extra benefit of the renew is nice, but yeah, that can just be an absurd amount of value for you. It's like has a little bit of a limitation again whenever 1 or more. So it's not like, oh, I Tormod's Crypt my graveyard and it's all gone and I get like 40 treasures. Cool. No, you need 1 at a time effects. But of course, there are certain commanders out there that really like 1 at a time effects of getting things out of your graveyard, like Tormod. So do keep that in mind. I mean, with, a Sultai combination for Tormod. So being able to essentially get extra value, again, limited to 1 or more cards, but not limited to once a turn. So, yeah, you can make an absurd amount of treasures with this and do some really crazy things. Next up, we got Jeskai Brushmaster, a 2/4 Orc Monk with double strike and prowess for 4 mana in Jeskai. I mean, that can hit incredibly hard. Like, is it going to see play in Commander? Maybe like in a prowess-specific deck or like a Monk deck, but yeah, probably not other than that. Moving on. Armament Dragon, a 3/4 dragon with flying for 6 mana in Abzan. When it enters, distribute 3 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures you control. Yeah, probably more of a limited card, I would say. Maybe some counter strategies could consider it, but there's better ways out there. The 6 mana is quite a bit. And like for a dragon type deck, you're like, yeah, it's a 3/4. I mean, it could, I guess, sure. Like, it could be, it could be a 6/7, sure. But like, there's better dragons. There's a lot of better dragons. Moving on. Karakik? Guardian? I don't know. I'm really bad at the names of the set. 6/5 dragon, flying vigilance trample for 6 mana in Temur. This creature has hexproof if it hasn't dealt damage yet. I mean, it's okay. Again, like in limited, like I'm sure it's a powerhouse, but again, like in Commander, yeah, you're like, okay, do I really care about this dragon that just like, okay, yeah, it's a beefy dragon that, has hexproof right away, but not later. you're probably not going to utilize it. That being said, like keyword soup type decks, definitely consider this one. Flying, Vigilance, Trample. Yay! Next up, Jeskai, Shrine Keeper, a 3/3 dragon, flying and haste for 5 mana. And Jeskai, whenever this creature is combat with your player, you gain life, draw a card. This one, maybe more than the other dragons, could see a bit more play because, again, it is a combat damage trigger, and there are certain decks out there that like to use and abuse combat damage triggers. And you are going to be in colors, obviously, that have double strike, so you can double that up. So, yeah, maybe a repeat life gain strategy or a strategy that likes to get through, again, with combat damage triggers. Could consider it dragon deck. Maybe. Moving on. Reverberating Summons, an enchantment for 2 mana in red. Beginning of each combat, if you've cast 2 more spells this turn, this enchantment becomes a 3/3 monk creature with haste, initiative to other types until end of turn. By paying 2 mana, discarding your hand, sacrifice this enchantment, draw 2 cards. I mean, this seems like a very strange card. Yeah. Like, hey, my enchantment becomes a 3/3 monk. Cool. What are you going to do with that in Commander? And discarding your hand to draw 2. I mean, like, yeah, once you're, like, at no cards, then that's great. You can just draw 2, but overall, it's 4 mana to do that, and, like, a 3/3 doesn't do too much. A Commander, probably more of a limited card. Next up, Frontline Rush. Instant for 2 mana in Boros. Choose 1, 2, 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Target creature gets +X on turn, X the number of creatures you control. I mean, Goblin decks right now are kicking themselves that this is in Boros instead of just in, you know, red. Because, oh yeah, Krenko would love this, essentially. But nope, you can't use it because it is in Boros. Yeah, it's a very solid, again, like, when it comes to making creature tokens, 2 mana for 2 creatures is a very good rate, essentially, and really gets things going for those type of go-wide strategy creature token decks. So, yeah, that's huge. And it is flexible, again, where it can be a combat trick, too, where you can just pump a creature out of nowhere for a ton of power, a ton of damage. Again, it is instant speed, so it's quite nice. So, yeah, this is a really good card. Again, one of the better, if not, I mean, I'm not going to say the best because I'm going to misspeak here because I'm trying to think of other ones, but it's a very solid, again, 2 mana, makes 2 creatures spell. Again, usually they're not instant speed, and usually they don't give you an option to do something else, so very cool. Next up, Encroaching Dragonstorm. So the green Dragonstorm, let's see what this one does. Enchant for 4 mana in green. When it enters, search life to 2 basic land cards, put on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. When a dragon control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. This is basically explosive vegetation for dragons. I mean, kind of in a way. I mean, I was talking with Eddie about this one as well, that, like, yeah, I mean, a blink deck could utilize it if you've got ways to blink this enchantment, because that is quite powerful to just keep getting 2, you know, basic lands again and again and again and again. If you've got nesting dragon in play, which makes dragon eggs, then sure, all of a sudden, like, hey, landfall dragon egg, awesome, I get it back to my hand, I can do it again and again and again. I mean, at the very least, it's explosive vegetation for an enchantress deck, potentially. It's just another enchantment that actually ramps you. So, yeah, explosive vegetation is just getting pushed off to the side as this card that, like, used to be a staple, and now it's like, yeah, explosive vegetation plus this, explosive vegetation plus that. So, it is a very cool card. We'll see what kind of decks actually want to utilize it, though. Moving on, we also got another one of the precons revealed. I think it was the last precon, actually. The Teamer precon. Here we go. Broodcaller Scourge, a 5/7 dragon with flying for 7 mana in green. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player, you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the damage from your hand onto the battlefield. Gross. I mean, this is, again, dragons just keep getting a lot. They do cost a good amount of mana for the most part, but, like, they just keep getting a haymaker after a haymaker after a haymaker, and it's like, oh my goodness. It is 1 or more, but again, you can deal damage to each player and get that trigger for multiple players, so do keep that in mind. Or double strike type effects or extra combats obviously can help with that too. So yeah, you might be thinking, oh, I can only cheat one thing into play, but it can actually be a lot more than that. At the very least, 3. I mean, you've got a vase of, you know, flying dragons. They're probably going to get through on some players, so there you go. So being able to cheat into play some awesome things, yeah, you can do some pretty crazy things with this one. Dragon decks. I mean, Dragon decks, again, like, the cuts have to just be so hard. You're like, oh, that's so cool. And you're like, how do I cut things out of this deck? There are so many powerful dragons. Moving on. Become the Avalanche. Sorcery for 6 mana in green. That seems dangerous, becoming an Avalanche. Draw a card for each creature you control at power 4 or greater. Then creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X the number of cards in your hand. Okay, yeah, that's quite good. This is kind of like Shamanic Revelation, but without the life gain being dependent on the power, and instead the draw being dependent on the power. And then also a massive pump effect. Luckily, it's not giving trample, because I think that'd be a bit much. But yeah, I mean, this is a great card draw for you. I mean, massive card draw, and also just a great finisher for you as well. My goodness, that is doing a lot for you. So if you've got a, you know, a creature deck that has a good amount of power, essentially, yeah, I mean, this can actually really do a lot for you. I don't know if it's going to see as much plays like Shamanic Revelation, probably not, because that's a bit more generic, where, again, it cares about the number of creatures you have. This cares about their power, but still, it's going to be a huge card for the right deck out there, where, yeah, I mean, it can refill your hand and then some, and also just finish the game off for you. Crazy cool card. Next up, Zenith Festival, or Zenith Festival, however you say that. Source for X red. Exile the top X card your library. You may play them until the end of your next turn, and you can also harmonize it out of your graveyard for X red. So again, basically tap a creature, and then that power reduces it. So, yeah, that's quite good. There is that one, I think it's instant speed, some of the volcano or lava or whatnot. But basically, there is another version of this that you can't, just replay. So this is quite good. You do have to play it at sorcery speed. That being said, obviously, it does give you until the end of your next turn to play the card. So that is like temporary card advantage, but kind of nice because you can untap everything and then have all the mana you need to cast your things the next turn. And also, again, you can utilize a creature the next time to make sure that you are, again, if you've got a high power creature, tap it for, say like 6 or whatever it is. Okay, I can actually play a lot of things on that first turn, and then the second turn I can play a lot of things as well. So, yeah, it's a really good card. Again, decks that either have high-power creatures to definitely consider, or ones that really care about playing things, from exile or outside the hand, etc., etc. Prosser, I'm looking at you. Moving on. Thunder Main Dragon. 4/4 Dragon flying for 4 mana in red. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast creature spells with power 4 greater from the top of your library. If you cast creature spells away, it gains haste till turn. That seems really good. Again, Dragon X is going to be really difficult for you to make cuts, but yeah, this is a contender in my opinion. It is basically a future sight. Again, for an Ur Dragon deck, just 3 mana. 3 mana, 4/4 flyer that basically is future sight for you for probably all of your dragons. I mean, most of dragons are going to be, power 4 greater. Obviously, in any kind of like a power matters deck, essentially, you are just going to care about this one as well. It doesn't have to be dragon tribal for it to. But yeah, being able to play any creatures off the top of your library that are power 4 or greater, you can do a lot of crazy cool things with that. Basically, future sight, dragon, cool times, yeah. Moving on, we've got Parapet Thrasher, a 4/3 dragon for 4 mana in red. Flying, whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to an opponent, choose one that has been chosen this turn. Destroy target artifact that opponent controls. This creature does 4 damage to each other opponent. Nice. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. This does a lot for you, and again, it is one or more dragons you control, combat damage to an opponent. So that's a lot of value to be had. Yeah, I mean, you can choose basically all 3 each turn, most likely. So you can get a lot of value out of that. And yeah, have fun with destroying an artifact, 4 damage to each other opponent, and then also impulse draw too. Again, Dragon decks, how do you make cuts? My goodness. Next up, Will the Teamer. Sorcerer, 6 mana in total in blue. Choose one of your controlling commanders you cast spell. You may choose both instead. Create tokens, copy a target permanent, except a 4/4 dragon with flying to other types. Target player draws cards equal to the greatest mana value among permanents you control. Interesting. So this is pretty hefty when it comes to the mana value, but it's a very unique effect. There's only so many ways out there to make a copy of any kind of permanent. So yeah, I can think of a couple ways to use and abuse that. There's certain kinds of enchantments that I want to copy, but there's only so many ways to copy them, essentially. But yeah, being able to make a creature token that is copy of it, that is a downside, but also an upside. The downside is it's easier to remove. The upside is that you can populate it. And if you're going to be populating, say, I don't know, some just disgustingly amazing Song of the World Soul enchantment, there you go. Have fun with that. It's absolutely gross and fun. Yeah, the math on that can get pretty crazy. But yeah, you can do some pretty cool things with that. And of course, being able to just draw a good amount of cards as well. It is target player. You can choose an opponent, I guess. There's going to be an opportunity for you to do that sometime when you're like, I mill you out. Ha 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 ha. Most of the time, though, it's, I'll draw 5, 6, something. Maybe even more than that. Yay! Next up, Hammerhead Tyrant. It's a Hammerhead Shark Dragon. What will they think of next? 6/6 dragon with flying for 6 mana in blue. Whenever you cast a spell, return up to 1 target non-land permanent opponent controls with mana value less than equal to that spell's mana value to its owner's hand. Okay. Tidespout Tyrant with a limitation, but it is a dragon. Is that a mammoth? That's a mammoth. Okay, yeah. this is a very solid card. It is dependent. Tidal Tyrant isn't dependent on, it's not dependent on mana value. It is bouncing anything, basically. And it could be your own things as well, which leads to combos. This is not combo-centric, but it is still just obnoxious when you're just casting things and bouncing your opponents. Any non-land permanent they control, mana value less. If you've got a high mana value deck, again, like, say, a dragon deck, you are going to be able to bounce a lot of things and just keep your opponents, pretty much off the board when you need them to be off the board. Next up, and finally, Deceptive Frost Kite. A 1/1 dragon with flying for 2 mana in blue. You may have this creature enter as a copy of a creature control power 4 or greater, except a dragon to other types, and it has flying. Interesting, incredibly solid. Yeah, this is weird. Okay, so it is a clone, right? It is a clone. But it's a clone that is low to the ground, but its requirement is that the creature you're copying has got to be pretty big. It's got to be a hefty creature, so you can't play this one all that early. Obviously, most likely. It's kind of like a dead card in your hand for a little bit. Then all of a sudden, it's an incredibly efficient clone, just 2 mana to copy a really powerful creature, probably. And also, I mean, it makes it a dragon, which could be relevant, obviously, but more importantly, probably for most decks out there, gives it flying. So it makes an evasive copy of that. Very interesting. Yeah, that's a weird, very cool clone. Again, just 2 mana. You usually don't see clones that are just 2 mana unless they've got a massive downside. The only downside of this one is that, like, you can't clone little things, right? You can't clone, you can't clone opponents' things either, but you can't clone your own little things either. It's got to be power 4 or greater, but again, for the right deck out there, where you care about, powerful creatures and copying them, yeah, you're going to love this because it's a clone that's incredibly cheap and very powerful. Okay, and I've mentioned this on a couple of episodes so far, but this spoiler season has been a bit hectic for me, so I'm still playing catch up on some spoilers, so if you're like me and haven't seen these, here we go. Frostcliff Siege, an enchantment for 3 mana in Jeskai, and is it? There we go. As the enchantment enters, choose Jeskai or Teamer. I was reading the Jeskai ahead of time and it messed me up. Jeskai, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Teamer, creature control gain, get +1/+0 and have haste and trample. This is very solid. Yeah, I mean, again, like, whenever one of our creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card, that means, again, that, sure, with each opponent, you can only get 1 card, but you can get 3 cards in total if you hit each opponent, and this is just a 3 mana low to the ground enchantment. That's quite good. And, of course, if you have double strike or extra combats, that can be even more, obviously. But, of course, just basically having Fervor as well as the other side of this, that is huge. This is definitely one of the better sieges out there that we have seen so far. +1/+0 trample and haste, that's huge for a 3 mana enchantment. Yeah, typically, again, granting haste usually does cost 3 mana on enchantments. There's only so many of those out there. And also giving trample and a little bit of a pump effect too, that is quite nice. So yeah, both halves of this, can make this card see a good amount of play out there. Next up, Equilibrium Adept, a 2/4 dog monk that is adorable for 4 mana in red. When this creature enters, exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You play the card, basically impulse draw. I'm wondering why they haven't actually, just said impulse draw. Like, just can you just like keyword that so like we don't have to read all that? Just impulse draw. We know what impulse draw is. Flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this creature gains double strike 12 turn. More of a limited card, I would say. Next up, Fortress Kinguard, a 1/2 dog soldier for 2 mana. I am protecting these things. Look at me, I'm a cute doggy. When it enters, endures 1. Yeah, I mean, it is. So like for a, it might make the cut like an aristocrat style decks out there. Like 2 mana for 2 bodies. That's pretty good actually. So. It could see play again because you're making a 1/1 spirit when this comes into play. So, yeah, it could. It definitely could. Like, low the ground, 2 bodies for 2 mana. Aristocrat style decks like efficiency, so it could definitely see some play. And it's a cute doggy. Yay! Dog decks consider it too. Next up, Embermouth Sentinel, a 2/1 chimera for 2 mana. Enters, you may search life for a basic land card. Shuffle your life, put it on top. You control a dragon, put the card on battlefield, tap instead. Yeah, I wouldn't even risk putting this in a dragon deck. I personally wouldn't. When it works, it's great. But also, like, do you really care about having a 2/1 in play? Like, do you really care that much about having a 2/1 in play? And again, like, setting the top of your library, they basically land. Like, sure, you hit your land drop, but like, it's not card advantage. I mean, it's not even not card advantage, but it's not even like a tutor in that way where it doesn't like go to your hand. And also, like, it's not ramping you unless you have a dragon in play. And then when it does, it's like, okay, I got a rampant growth with a 2/1. Okay. I wouldn't play personally. Next up, Gurmag Nightwatch, a 3/3 human ranger for 3 mana in Sultai. 3 or 6, I should say, somewhere in between. When this creature enters, look at the top 3 cards of your library and put one of those cards back on top of your library for the rest of your graveyard. Probably more of a limited card, I would say. Next up, Heritage Reclamation, instant for 2 mana in green. Choose 1, destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment, or exile 1 card from a graveyard, draw a card. Flexible removal like this, always has a home for certain decks out there. Yeah, this is very solid. It is, getting rid of artifacts and enchantments. That's usually what you want to do for 2 mana instant speed in green. And also giving you the option to, again, just ruin, a reanimation deck's day where they're like, I reanimate this. You're like, no, you don't. Goodbye card. And then being able to draw a card off that too. So yeah, if you need the card draw, nice. It is flexible. It just depends on what you're looking for when it comes to these 2 mana removals. We're getting a lot of these recently. We have a lot of options depending on what you're looking for. Next up, Jade Cast Sentinel, 1/5 reach, Ape Snake for 4 mana. Pay 2 tap, put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of someone's library. Certain decks out there really care about the bottom of their library. Those decks out there will love this card. Other decks will be like, why would I ever play this? There you go. Next up, Jeskai Monument artifact for 2. When it enters, search your library an island, mountain, or plains card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. I should say it's a basic. By paying 4 in total in Jeskai, tap sacrifice artifact, make 2 1/1 birds with flying, active as a sorcery. Yeah, probably more of a limited card. I mean, very specific decks could maybe consider it, but like at the end of the day, like, you get 1 land into your hand, again, not ramping you, and then you have to pay a good amount of mana to make 2 1/1. So in total, you're like, would I pay 6 mana to get 1 land and make 2 birds? Probably not. Next up, Jeskai Devotee, a 2/2 Orc Monk for 2 mana in red. Whenever you catch second spell each turn, it gets +1 till turn. And then by paying 1, you can filter your mana only once each turn, though. Wizards, let Johnny's Johnny, please, and stop the activate only once each turn, please. Yeah, I mean, this is probably more of a limited card as well. Next up, Prumar Initiate, a 2/2 Human Cleric for 2 mana in black. Pay X and a black tap. Pay X life. This creature endures X, activate on sorcery. So you either get that many counters on it, or more than likely, you're going to create an XX Spirit. I mean, I guess you could just get a lot of counters on this if you really want to. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting card for sure. It's a very specific strategy you might want to consider it, but like, yeah, I mean, like, you could technically just keep making some. I mean, you could. I guess you could put 0 into that if you really want to. If you're like, all right, just pay a black tap, pay a 0 life, and then make a 0/0 spirit, and then it just dies, and then you have a trigger of your aristocrat stack. So maybe that's a direction for it. Or you pay 1 into it, just keep making a bunch of 1/1s. Yeah. Or you make a big one. Or like a populate deck might want to consider if you make like a really big spirit and then you're using that. So interesting, very interesting. Or like a counters deck might want to consider it too. Next up, though, and finally, Kotis the Fangkeeper, a 2/1 zombie warrior, indestructible 4 mana in Sultai. Whenever it deals combat to a player, exile top X cards of their library, X the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from them without paying their mana cost. I mean, Villainous Wealth, but on a commander? Yeah, sign me up for that. Obviously, what you're going to be doing with this one is granting it evasion, and then also, pumping it a ton. Hitting an opponent, and then just casting a ton of things. So, have fun. That seems like a lot of fun. Absolutely. The art on this is amazing. It reminds anyone, JoJo fans out there, anyone? Yeah, it's very JoJo on like the pose. It's a cool card. Again, Villainous Wealth as a commander, essentially. Very, very, very nice. Could see play in zombie decks or warrior decks, I guess, just depending on the build. But I think for the most part, it's probably going to be more popular as a commander. And again, the fact that it's indestructible is quite nice. So it just sticks around. You can just keep swinging, trampling over things, making it evasive to get through. And then, of course, pumping it a ton. Doubling power effects could be quite nice with this one. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on this one. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.